Welcome back to From the Scriptwriter's Table. Okay, today we're going to talk about the Faster Rythmn as a tool for writing audio dramas. I don't normally read straight from a book to you on how to write, but this time I am. The book we've been using for the last whatever number of episodes is the handbook, or rather the Handbook of Radio Writing by Eric Barnow. If I'm mispronouncing his name, so because I've read it, I have no idea exactly if it's correctly pronounced. Book's out of print. You can find it through your library, interlibrary loans, used bookstores, so forth. But I really don't think I can add to what he talked about with Faster Rythmn by myself. I'm going to read to you what he wrote, and then we're going to talk about it. The theater audience, once wielded, is in a rigid state, or in a regimented state. Not only is it physically regimented by sitting in rows straight up with insufficient leg room for relaxation, it is psychologically regimented by the focus of crowd behavior. Each individual, surrounded by men and women, all stirred to similar emotions and reactions, is keyed to a common, slightly hypernatural pitch. This means he can weather quite lengthy stretches of dull dialogue without revolt, even if he is so individual as to want to leave. His partial imprisonment in row D, seat 105, strongly deters him. But the radio listener is a free and unregimented individual. Like the armchair reader with his book, those two are in no such physical or psychological concentration camp, as an auditorium audience. They are fairly free to react individually and express their reaction by tossing a dull book or switching off a dull program. Perhaps the listener is still more ready to be fickle than the reader. The impatient reader can flip ahead. The listener can only accept or reject. Also, the fact that most reading material costs money may make the reader less quick to discard lagging entertainment. The independence of a home listener and his consequent capricious make of radio's faster pace and more continuous tension. That didn't make sense to me. Sorry. I misemphasized that. So let me repeat that. The independence of the home listener and his consequent capriciousness make for radio's faster pace and more continuous tension. It will be seen that almost all radio characteristics work toward two interrelated qualities: speed and compression. Thank you to Eric Barnow and to my horrible reading. I apologize, but he wrote back, this was written back in, I think, 1930s. Movie theaters are the same as if you're watching a live theater, in what he's telling you. You're stuck. You can choose to get up and leave, but by your imprisonment, sitting there, you're reluctant to. And that makes you more vulnerable to the very long dialogues that can occur in a play, that can occur in a movie, that are dull. I love a certain fellow author on Right Pack Radio. As a panelist, she has what she calls the plot couch, actually. I think I'm using the wrong term, but the idea is you have characters that are talking, and now suddenly, oh, we need to explain something that's going on. So we're going to run in and we're going to sit on a couch and talk about the plot, or we're going to talk about something that you probably already know, or it really doesn't deal necessarily with the story. It's just basically background dumping. That you can get away with more in movies, television, and theater. You can also get away with that more in books as well. But in the case of books and in radio dramas, the person can easily switch off that story. Books, they can do it faster than they can in radio dramas, in the sense of they can keep their attention longer. They can either close the book or they can flip ahead to a more interesting part. How many times have you done it? Come on, be honest. Come on. Okay. Radio dramas, it's being fed to you as it's being fed to you. Even in modern day, yeah, you've got your little fast forward, but where do you choose? Just to stop your fast forward and start to listen. You're less likely to do that. You're more likely to hit the stop button and go to do something else. There are millions of things in which your audience can go and do nowadays, even more so than the 1930s and 40s and 50s. You've got social media. Hey, what's going on with my friends on Facebook? What's going on Twitter? I'll turn on TV, or I'll turn on the computer and watch Netflix or Hulu or whatever. This is so boring. I'm going to go out and turn on YouTube and maybe watch some music videos and find out why goats climb mountains. Or I can go out and enjoy outdoor life. Or I can play Pokemon Go. Or I can stay inside and play on my Xbox or whatever your choice of platform is. That's what you're fighting against as a writer of radio drama. The attention span that your audience has is minuscule. And I know there's been plenty of studies how our attention spans have shrunk in the modern day. Read those studies if you want to, but understand the attention span you have with an audio listener is even less. That's a scary thought. And that's what you have to write to. You've got to keep the attention up. One of the things I've discovered as I write radio dramas myself is a comparison to a different form of writing. Okay, let me go where I'm going here. Stick with me for just a moment. When I write a novel or a short story, when I'm writing screenplays, which I've done, though I've never sent any off to get done, I've done them more as exercises. When I've done that, I usually see a movie playing in my head. That's not an uncommon reaction for many writers. Audio plays, I found that in my head, it's more like a comic book. And what's interesting is, and I've never written a script for a comic book, not at all. But looking at the comic book, I know that script has to be very tight. Your comic book today is roughly, I'm not talking about graphic novels, which they can fall into the same category. I'm talking about simple comic books that are out there. Based on my word count, based on my average page count when I've read them, they usually are roughly 20 to 22 pages in length. And I'm not talking about the ad pages. I'm talking about straight story pages. Now, if I'm wrong, hey, comic book writers, tell me so. Let me know if I've got that off a little bit. But basically, what I'm seeing sorry about playing with my hair there. What I'm seeing with that is if you've read a comic book, and most of you have, if you've seen comic strips at least, you've got a lot of beautiful artwork and very short bubbles of dialogue and conversation. Look how fast that has to go. That's radio drama. It has to be. You can have pauses. You need pauses. You need breaks. You need some silence in there. But your rhythm of what you're writing and your pacing has to be set to high gear. You don't have time for long-winded dialogues that could occur in novels, novels, television plays, movie scripts, theater. That's a big difference. It's like taking somebody to a dunking booth. You want to get them in, pick them up, get them in, get them in, get them in. You don't have time to say, oh, let's walk up to the pool and, oh, come on, get your toes in the water. No. Knock them into the water. That's what you're doing with your audience. Knock them in. Get them immersed in the story. Okay, that's enough for now. Go to windingtrailsmedia.com and go to the audience. Go to the courses for writers. Second one down is Scriptwriters Table. Takes place on a monthly basis. Last month we recorded and posted on YouTube that recording of the Scriptwriters Table with myself and Michael Long. Those are the only two people who attended. You want to see what it's like? Go out and watch. I know this is a slow build project, but come and join us. For a while, I probably will be recording them so you can get an idea and listen to what's being created. Number 2, like us on Facebook, find us on Twitter, find us on Tumblr, and subscribe to YouTube channel here. Share this with your writing friends. Even if they've never written in radio drama before, I can guarantee you the information in here that I'm sharing with how to write these is information we can tie over and make their writing in other medias even better. Okay, take care. Have a great day writing. Catch you in the next episode. Bye-bye.